Askreddit, what do you believe, is the most misleading advice commonly given. You can be whatever you want. I'm still upset that I'm not a duck. See, it also just doesn't work with how our socio-economic system is set up. If you're born into poverty, you are less likely to get a quality education and or go to college. You still can become an astronaut if you are absurdly smart and talented naturally, but chances are you're not, and you're just gonna end up working at Burger King until you die at the age of 85 because you never made enough to save for retirement. People rarely break the chain. Wealth builds wealth, and poverty builds poverty. It sucks, but it's true. There are quite a few countries around the world where this narrative isn't so one-sided. In NZ, for example, anyone can get a free tertiary education. Healthcare is free and everyone over 65 gets a pension. We pay higher taxes and can't buy assault weapons, but for the most part it's not bad. Follow your heart. Turns out my heart isn't the most logical part of me. Violence is never the answer. I was bullied pretty much constantly for 8 years. People/adults saw but either didn't do anything or made it worse. I finally snapped one day and hit them. Never had any more issues. I wish I'd done it sooner. I'm not advocating killing anyone, but some people need a wake-up call. Violence is always an option, it just shouldn't be the first one. Totally agree with that. Blood is thicker than water. The thing about family is, you didn't choose them, but your friends? They were your choice. I much prefer blood is the family you were born to. Friends are the family you got to choose. Wait 5 to 15 minutes before replying to a text or else you'll seem desperate. I freaking hate it when people do this. You leave me on read, then answer 15 minutes later? You're not desperate. If you do this, you're just much easier to talk to. Turn off read receipts on your iPhone. That's the advice they need. Turn off read receipts for everything. You're fine just the way you are. Luckily the actual quote from Mr. Rogers is "I like you just the way you are," implying that all people are worthy of compassion, which they are. Everyone has stuff they're working on and need to improve. Some more than others, but withholding kindness isn't going to help anyone become their best self. That going to college, not knowing a career path from the get-go, will help your future when in reality you end up with possibly hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, as a face in the crowd of people who did the exact same as you. I wish I would have known this before going to college. I will die with my student loans. I was just thinking this same damn thing. I feel like I haven't made a dent. Don't cry, let people express their feelings and cry, if that's what they need. Unless you hurt your sibling and they're crying, you can hit me back, okay, just stop crying. Hard work pays off. 0.65 years later, I've finally been rewarded with old age. Hard work does pay off, but generally not for the person doing all the work. Hard work pays off your boss loans. If it's meant to be, it'll happen. Sometimes you gotta go out there and make sure it happens. I used to believe this for a long time, but recently I have realized that everything I achieved in my life was when I decided to take a proactive effort and make shit happen. Absolutely true. Nothing can be achieved if you don't get up and work for it. Took me a long time and really hard work, but I achieved some of my goals. And now I'm still wondering how I did it, but I'm proud of myself that I worked through some tough issues and didn't give up. If it's meant to be, it'll happen. It'll get easier. Life never gives you more than you can handle. All of these phrases imply some form of fate or other supernatural power that ensures your long-term well-being. Sorry, but it doesn't work like that. Lives are ruined every day. There are no guarantees in life. Don't try to make money from a hobby, when what they actually mean is don't remove the freedom from your hobby. you can still enjoy a hobby you make money from providing it's on your terms as much as possible. Hobbies are a great way to make money, you just shouldn't try to make a career out of them. I'm a musician for side cash and it's very liberating to tell someone thanks, but no thanks, when they try to argue my price down too much. I think often these misleading advices are just phrasing problems, because people never learn to articulate their thoughts better. Learn a trade and you'll be rich. It depends on where you are, and how the competition is. Yeah, where I live they make tons. The issue is that your parent needs to be in it, or you won't have a chance at getting the job. Any dating advice or cute gesture you see in a movie, it's going to be creepy in real life. Relevant The Onion headline, romantic comedy behavior gets real life man arrested. Oh, so you're telling me sneaking into your ex's apartment and eavesdropping while he's on a date after running away from him for a summer lolly from him isn't a cute sign of affection? Try your best, and you will succeed sometimes. No matter how hard you try, you just won't succeed. It'll give you the best chance, but no guarantee. You can do everything flawlessly and still fail. It's inevitable. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life, JLP. Just think, it could be worse. Someone has it worse off than you. This can be an incredibly destructive thing to say to someone. Just because someone else might have a broken leg, doesn't make your broken toe hurt any less. It's this way of thinking that caused me to not seek treatment for my depression sooner. I always had the mentality that, well, I'm not suicidal, so it's not that bad. When I was being self-destructive, not leaving the house, not going to university, and not really taking care of myself. Everyone's pain is valid, and trying to brush it off by saying that someone has it worse can only do more harm than good. Boys/men don't cry. Can confirm, had tear ducts cauterized with an arc welder when I grew my first chest hair. So interestingly, while I agree men should be able to cry and show emotion freely in society, testosterone actually makes it harder to cry. Source: I'm a trans guy who had his tear ducts cauterized with an arc welder when I started testosterone. Do what you love, and you'll never work a day in your life. Ha. I forget which comic book artist said it, but I remember his more accurate version. Do what you love, and you'll work harder than you ever have, because you'll always want to be the best. I agree with you on this one. I'm lucky in the sense that I like my work, but to me, it feels like most things get tainted by the pressure of performing for money. That's why the other things I'm really passionate about are done as hobbies. No deadlines or people telling me what to do. Yeah, I think that most people interpret do what you love as take up your hobby as a job. Most of the time it'll lose you both money and your interest in that hobby. This is exactly why I'm not majoring in music. I love it, but I just know I'd be miserable if I relied on it in order to survive. If you ignore the bullies, they'll go away. Sorry, but most of the time, that just encourages them to try harder and go further. As a kid, the best advice I ever got was to come up with effective insults that played on the bullies' insecurities. There's nothing like a good one-liner roast to put them in their place. That one is really dependent on the kind of bully. It can also get you badly beaten up later behind the school. Yeah, if the kid is a violent type, they can do that in response to pretty much any reaction. Maybe the only real solution to bullies is to be stronger than them. Money can't buy happiness. While true, it is misleading, because money can greatly contribute to providing security and things that tend to make people happy. You don't need shoes to run either, but they sure do help. Sure, it doesn't buy happiness, but I'd rather cry in a Ferrari than on a bike. Have you ever seen an unhappy person on a jet ski? Just imagine someone crying inconsolably on a jet ski. It's hilarious. Thanks for the laugh. Show up early, work hard, stay late, don't get involved in workplace gossip, mind your business and always go above and beyond. All bullshit. You are guaranteed to be taken advantage of at just about any and every job following that advice. Show up early, work hard, stay late. Best way to be seen as a workhorse. Weird personal anecdote. Boxer from Animal Farm used to be a somewhat personal hero of mine. I liked that he was just a horse that never complained, gave his all, and just did his job to the best of his ability. I must work harder was something I told myself in my head, and was formative in how I shaped my work ethic for years. I was thinking back on it one day and it hit me that for all his hard work and positive attitude that I looked up to, MF was rewarded by being turned into glue. Flattery will get you nowhere. It actually helps you get most places to kiss ass. I found flattery is bullshit, but friendliness is golden. Seriously, be friendly to everyone. CEO, security, maintenance staff, everyone. You don't have to talk all the time, but say hi. Learn their names. Ask them about their lives every couple weeks. They'll love you for it. Then when you do run into someone you don't get along with, if that person tries to put you down, you have an entire building of people to support you. I'd say yes and no. Always be polite and respectful, even if your boss is an ass, but don't be a brown noser. All you're doing is throwing away your dignity and most people are going to see right through it. In my experience, office politics just means don't piss off people above you in the chain. Just keep your head down and work. And don't complain about someone behind their back, because they will hear it eventually. If I can do it, you can do it. It only works in specific contexts. If you tell me what you did, you won't get in trouble. I promise I won't be mad. Next thing you know, you'll get lectured. That's the best case scenario for some people too. Honestly, getting lectured isn't a bad thing, as long as it's not screaming. If somebody did something that you disagree / your child did a bad thing, you can still lecture / tell them without showing anger. Unfortunately, 90% of the ones saying it will in fact show anger after being told, yeah but getting lectured is a good outcome. If you tell your parents you did something bad and then lecture you, it's because they care and they want to help you. It can be annoying when it's happening, but it's honestly coming from a good place. You can tell me anything, and you won't get in trouble doesn't mean you can tell me anything, and I won't react at all. Parents want their kids to trust them and be open about things, but they still have a responsibility to parent them. If I had a kid who called me because they were drinking underage and needed a ride, I'd be very happy to help and absolutely wouldn't punish them. I would definitely have a conversation about being safe with alcohol though. Never go to bed angry. This well-intentioned advice can lead to relationship problems. Many times it is better to sleep, relax, and awaken with more level-headed emotions. Polite honest dialogue leads to the best relationships. That if you can't love yourself, you're unable to love anyone else. A lot of people who struggle with mental health issues, or just regular people going through shit, have issues loving themselves, but that doesn't mean that they are not able to feel love for others, or even love people romantically. Loving yourself and loving other people is so incredibly different. I think it's shorthand / traditional language for take care of yourself physically and establish your own identity, or you won't be able to be there for others you care about. If you follow your dreams, they will come true. Bullshit. You not only have to work your ass off to achieve that dream, you also need to work to support yourself until you achieve said dream. Plus, you need the talent, connections, know-how, and temperament to be whatever it is you want to be. Following your dreams is fine, just make sure you're working toward them too, or else you're just following them to watch someone else live them. Follow your dreams imply that you will work hard to reach your dream. If you just dream without reaching for it, it's just a dream. Good things come to those who wait. Nope. Go out there and make it happen. Impatience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue. You have to be willing to actively go for what you want and understand it takes time to get your goal. Otherwise you'll burn out, or get frustrated and give up. Live each day like it's your last. Are you serious? That is some horrible advice. Honestly, yeah. If live today like it was my last, I'd be a drug addict. And risky sexual behaviors as well. When skidding in a car, turn into the skid. This piece of advice is basically meaningless to new and experienced drivers, because into the skid can mean a ton of different things and no one ever defines what exactly into the skid is. Instead, I suggest telling people to point your tires in the safest direction, feet off of the pedals, adjust the wheel as the car turns. To keep the wheels pointed in the direction you want to travel sounds much less catchy and cool than turn into the skid, but it's actually helpful and informative. College is a place to find yourself and make mistakes. No, the fuck it isn't. That's how you get $100,000, in student loan debt that you don't pay off until you're 60. Best advice in my opinion is know what you want to do and then get in and get out. Yes. I will never encourage someone to graduate and go straight into college unless they know for certain what they want to do. I've racked up at least $15,000 extra in student loan debt, all because I changed majors twice trying to find myself like everyone said to do. Don't judge a book by its cover. The cover is supposed to tell you what's in the book. If you choose to dress a certain way, that's your advertisement to the world. I had a coworker would say people treat you the way you dress. He always made sure to dress nice. Had a therapist teach me this one. He always wore a full suit in therapy. He grew up in a bad part of London and has a London accent. Apparently the juxtaposition of his clothing and his accent blow people's minds in the UK. They think he's some posh person until he opens his mouth, then they treat him like garbage. I firmly believe you should always judge a book by its cover. The book chooses its cover. I don't have the time to go around reading every book. I always thought the point of the quote was that you shouldn't jump to conclusions on what a person is like just by his looks, cause you never know. Humans can be complicated. Better to be ready for anything than to be shocked when you find out that well-dressed neighbor who was always nice to everybody turned out to be a serial killer. If he's mean to you, it means he likes you. No, it means he abuses women. I've had the gender-reversed version of this told to me for years by my father. If a girl is picking on you, she probably has a crush on you. No, dad, she just gets her kicks out of treating me like trash. Kind of annoying though, because now I have a hard time telling if someone is into me or not, because that and a couple other things are always bouncing around in my subconscious. There was an ad a while back that showed a girl growing up with this. It was cute, so to speak. I never found it cute when they were just kids, but as the girl and the boys got older in the ad, it got more and more unnerving. It was brilliant.